Okay, so this is, I think if you look, have you ever noticed the number of slides? It's not many.
Yeah.
Actually, you may not hear that, but it's not many. But we don't do a lot with standard form, more than what we've already done, which is supposed to be, it's an easy way to find x and y intercepts in graph. Right? Standard form. Standard form, right? The x and y terms are on the left. The constant term, the one that doesn't have a variable, is on the right. And those a, b's, and c, they just represent numbers. We say real numbers. This book is kind of loose with that because they're letting you have the first number a be fraction or negative, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they say you want that first number to always be positive and no fractions, but it's okay. So standard form, that's the third. We do point slope, slope intercept, standard. Those are the three we're supposed to know at this point. And again, remember how we can use standard form. It's very easy to find the x and the y intercepts, right? Because to find the x-intercept, you're going to substitute y is 0. You just cover that up. And when you do, you have that equation. 2x is 24, x equals 12. To find the y-intercept, cover up the x. Negative 6y is 24, y is negative 4. And that's the best use of standard form. Cover it up to find the intercept. Right? Because those are very easy points to graph. Draw your line. Easy. Now, this one is not solved for y, which means we could actually have different versions of it. As long as you can do operations to both sides, like we do when we solve algebra equations, it can make the equation look different, but in the end, let's just say it would have the same x and y intercepts. For example, what would happen if I multiplied both sides by 1/2, or divided both sides by 2? Right? Blue. Right, so here let's divide both sides by 2. What would we get? Divide by 2. You would have an x, 6y divided by 2, 3y, 24 divided by 2, 12. Okay. Now, what are the y-intercepts? X equals 12, which is unchanged. Negative 3y equals 12, so y equals negative 4. Right. Those were the same that we said before, 12 and negative 4. So even though the equation looks different, and it's still the same equation, it's what we call equivalent. If you haven't run across that word before, equivalent, it becomes a little more important in this class, especially with regards to the SOL, because they'll say something about which one of these is equivalent. And for you, you just think of it, what word does it start with or sound like? Equal? Pretty much that's it. How do you get negative 4? On this slide or the one before? Cover up the x, solve for y. Right. So what if I doubled this? What if I multiplied everything by 2? Then what would it look like? 4x minus 12y equals 48, right? But still, if I do the x and y intercepts, right, 4x is 48, so x equals 12. Negative 12y is 48, so y equals negative 4. So these are all three of these. 1, 2, 3. Those are all equivalent. Right? They're not exactly the same, but they are the same line. If we solve them for y, slope-intercept form, they would be exactly the same. Okay, so write an equation in standard form of the line through the points. Okay, now, we've done this before, right? We did it in the first section and in the quiz we just did when we were given the y-intercept, but in the second section, we weren't given the y-intercept. And on the quiz, I mean, some of you, you still use that process we learned in the second section, which wasn't really necessary. But in the end, if we're going to write it in standard form, we have to start with either slope-intercept or point-slope form. But what are we going to do with 2 points? What do we always do with 2 points? Calculate the slope first, right? So the m is going to be -3 minus -1 over 2 minus 3, right? Which is -2 over -1, which is 2. Okay, you can put that in the calculator. -3 minus -1. Arrow down. 2 minus 3. And you should get 2. Okay, now, we either need to find the b by using this, or we could use the point slope, which we did in last night's homework. Which one do you think would be easiest? The one on the left? Okay. It's a matter of opinion. No right answer there. So let's do the one on the left. Okay. So that 2, I'm going to put in the place of m. What am I going to put in the place of x and y so that I can find the b? One of those 2 points, right? And it doesn't matter which one. How about I'm going to take this first point right there. So I'll say -1 equals 2 times 3 plus b. So -1 equals 6 plus b. Right? Subtract 6, so b equals -7. So here's our slope-intercept form of a line. Y equals 2x minus 7. Okay, which is good, right? That so far. But it said put it in standard form. Standard form would have both the x and the y term on the left. So what do I have to move so that I've got both of those on the left?
2x.
The 2x, right? So I need to subtract 2x. So -2x plus y equals -7. So that's standard form. And it's an equation. There could be others, but that is the one we're doing. Now we could have done it this way, right? I could have said y minus -1 is like y plus 1. The slope is 2. X minus 3. Solve, or y plus 1 equals 2x minus 6. I got to get that 2x onto the other side. I got to subtract 1 from both sides. And in any case, it's the same thing. But I mean, I know that you guys usually would like to do the one on the left. There's nothing wrong with that. I would do the one on the right. So try that one. Write the equation in standard form of the line through those 2 points. What's the first thing you're going to calculate? Slope, right? But it doesn't end there, right? In the end, the directions are write the equation in standard form. So don't stop until you've done that. Ty, stop it. Okay, so first step, find the slope accurately. You know, right now we find the slope all the time, and it's not what you're being tested on. We assume you can do the slope, right? If you're going to mess it up, then the other things that come after are all going to get wrong. 2, find a b, right? Plug it into y equals mx plus b. Use one of these 2 points. Once you've done that, you have both the m and the b, so there you've got the slope-intercept form. But you don't need that. You need the one that has the x and the y on the left. So the last step, you got to get that negative 3x onto the other side. If it's negative on the right, what's it going to be on the left? Positive. So 3x plus y. So the answer is that. So remember the vertical line? Vertical line is when you've got x equals a number, right? X equals a constant. What is the slope of a vertical line? Undefined, right? It's not going up or down. It's straight up. It's straight up. It's not even going left or right. So it's not even, you can't even ask the question, what's it doing from left to right? Okay. So the only way you can write the equation of a vertical line is standard form. If I say x equals 2, that's standard form, right? That has ax plus by equals c. It's the a is 1, the b is 0. That's why you don't see a y, and the c is 2. But so if you write a vertical line like x equals a constant, that is standard form. You can't use the other two because there is no slope. Both of the other two, point slope, slope intercept, you need the slope, but there is no slope. So we can't use those forms for a vertical line, right? How about y equals 2? Could that be standard form? Sure, the a is 0 now. The b is 1, the a is 0. Could that be slope-intercept form? Sure. I mean, it just, the x, it has to be that slope is 0, so you don't see the x term, and that's the y-intercept. And in a way, you could say this is like y minus 0 equals 0 times, it's 0 x minus 2. That's going to be wrong, isn't it? Oh, no, it's just a second, clear. It was wrong over here. Y minus 2 equals 0 times x minus 0. I mean, in a way, it could kind of be a point slope. Okay, so mostly this is about horizontal and vertical lines. Write the equations of horizontal and vertical lines that pass through the point -8, -9. What would be the equation of a vertical line going through that point? Let's say I sketch the graph, right? -8, -9. So what would be the equation of a line that goes through that point? It's vertical, so should it be y equals or x equals? X equals. Come on, just one slide to go. There you go. Vertical line. X equals the number. So what number is that going to be? -8, right? If it goes through that point, then it's got to have that x value. Okay, what do you think the equation of the horizontal line going through that point will be? Right? It's got to be y equals 9, -9. Okay, so try this one. Write the equations of horizontal and vertical lines that go through that point. Wait. Now, even if I didn't know which one is which, right? I know one of them is going to be x equals a number, and one of them is going to be y equals a number. You know, when you have an ordered pair like this, which one is the x and which one is the y? The 13 is the x, and the -5 is the y. So 13, -5. Now, which one of those is the vertical, and which one is the horizontal? Yeah, remember, okay, that's the vert. This is the horizontal. You can put that one in your calculator, right? Go to the y equals button, put in a -5, and then look at the graph, and you'll see the line. It's horizontal. Hopefully you associate that with being horizontal. Okay, just a second. Okay, that's it. And that's the homework. expect a quiz tomorrow where you'll be given 2 points, neither one of which is the y-intercept, or a point and a slope. You're in line. Julian, you go. He had already asked. For you.
If you hustle,